Welcome to the Swisher Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you go on Instagram and follow me at swisherent. Make sure you also go on YouTube and hit that subscribe button so you get a notification when the new videos is coming out. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button and the follow button on any of the streaming platforms, which is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud, so you get a notification when the next podcast is coming out. Thank you so much for listening once again, and I hope welcome back to Swisher Podcast, another episode. I believe this is episode 133. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts if you listen to the audio version. If you're looking to watch on YouTube, unfortunately this episode will not be on YouTube, but the audio version will be, so you can go and listen to that on YouTube. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube also, because we're trying to get our subscribers up. Definitely trying to get those views up also. Make sure you guys go check out some of the old episodes. We have 132 episodes, so there's a lot of old content that you can go listen to if you already caught up. I doubt you probably listened to all of them, so definitely go check out some of the old episodes. It's a lot of great things on there. Me and Boss Jet Set and me and Kosi, I believe that's his name, but different episodes, different things that we added in, like sound effects and videos. And definitely go check out the old YouTube videos also. I have 70-something videos on YouTube that you can check out. Been grinding hard with this daily podcast, so definitely guys go check that out. Hit that like button and that subscribe button and run those views up. I just want to revisit the topic about the Kobe Bryant. A lot of people have been disrespecting Kobe the last few weeks. He's dead. They had a funeral for him the other day, and they had a private funeral. I believe they're having like a public funeral at the Staples Center the end of this month, the 24th. It's going to be for him and his daughter. But, it's probably going to be on ESPN. It's definitely going to be on the news. They were talking. It hasn't been a death this big since Michael Jackson. A lot of people have died, but someone of this magnitude has not died since Michael Jackson. One of these funerals that you're going to see all over the news and all over the different news outlets. So it would be great to see him be celebrated at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, where he played. I think he played all his years in L.A. I know he was recruited to Charlotte when he first got recruited, and then they traded him to Los Angeles. I believe he stayed in Los Angeles his whole career. But it'd be great to see what type of service they have and who will be speaking. Definitely have LeBron and some of his Shaq and some of his friends and some of the All-Star people there. Talking about All-Star, though, All-Star Weekend is this weekend. It'd be great to see what they do at All-Star Weekend for Kobe. They're going to have a dunk contest. And, all the usual things, but they have like a special event maybe named after Kobe or something that contribute to him during All-Star Weekend. But like I said, it'd be great to see how that goes on. And, I heard something about the dunk contest. If you guys remember a few years ago, Zach LaVine, and it was just one other light-skinned dude. I believe his name was Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon. He was... They both were in the dunk contest, and it was probably one of the best dunk contests that I have ever seen at the All-Star event. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go look it up on YouTube. Look at dunk contest with Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. It was one of the best dunk contests I've ever seen during the during the All-Star Weekend, and I haven't seen one since. Back in the day, they used to do like the big names. You might see LeBron, Kobe, these guys in the dunk contest. It was never really that good. They had Jordan back in the day, but seeing these guys who aren't as famous and just have one of the best dunk contests I've ever seen is definitely going to be exciting to watch. Zach LaVine, I know he's definitely. I'm not sure about Aaron Gordon back in the dunk contest, and definitely it'd be exciting to watch that. All-Star Weekend is always great. They had it in Charlotte. I believe it was last year, the year before last. I believe it was pretty well. I'm not sure who was in the dunk contest then, but it's just I don't think it was good as the one when it was Zach LaVine. But definitely, you guys, check that out. Like I said again, it'd be great to see what Kobe does not what Kobe does. Excuse me. It'd be great to see how they tribute Kobe during the All-Star Weekend and what type of events and what type of things they will have. I'm not sure where the All-Star Weekend is this weekend. I'm not sure where it is, but I have to look that up for you guys. But it'd be great if it was in L.A. or somewhere close to L.A. If they would have thought about it, which they wouldn't have known this was going to happen, that they could have had it at the Staples Center, which would have been perfect. But I have to find that out, the information out, and I'll get back to you guys tomorrow. So make sure you tune into the Swisher Podcast. Definitely going to, like I said, bring it to you daily if I can. Sometimes I may not be able to record the video part. If you enjoy watching the video part, I thank you for giving it a chance and watching it. But sometimes I'm not going to be able to record the video part. So just be patient with me till I'm able to upload it or even record a part, and I'll definitely bring that back to you. But for all you guys listening on the audio version, appreciate you listening on the audio version. That's really where the basis is. This is a podcast, but once I get my followers up, once I get my subscribers up, I'm definitely going to either make another YouTube channel or add different things like vlogs, maybe challenges, and maybe pranks to the Swisher Podcast YouTube channel. So that's something you can look forward to in the future. I can't give you an exact date when that's going to happen, but I can tell you that that's something that's definitely in the plan for the future. Either making a separate channel, Daily Swisher, or may just be Swisher or something like that, or maybe just adding it to the Swisher Podcast account, or I may just keep the Swisher Podcast account just podcast. But it'd be great to see how that unfolds. But if you guys want to see pranks, if you guys want to see vlogs, if you guys want to see all the other type of stuff, make sure you share the podcast on YouTube and make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can get that. Because once I get subscribers up to a certain amount, once I get the type of engagement that I want, I'm definitely going to make that change and try to do some challenges and different things, more of a YouTuber. I think anybody that has a type of following, anybody that has a YouTube rapper, or anybody that has any type of fame, any type of following should have a podcast. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I believe that some of these YouTubers would be great if they can put content in podcast form. Like people like Funny Mike should definitely have a podcast. Him and his crew, he's got a couple of funny guys within his gang, and I'll definitely listen to if they had a podcast. There's a couple of other YouTubers, Nug Boys. It'd be cool if they had a podcast. But a lot of these Instagram influencers, they should have podcasts also, because it's great to have that another form of content you're able to not only watch but listen to. You want to be able to get to the people as many ways as possible, and having that podcast and audio version is definitely a way people can listen, in the car, when they're running, working out, anything. You can listen to audio any type of way, especially with the type of headphones they have out nowadays with AirPods and different type of ways you can listen to the audio. So definitely check that out, and definitely check that out when I get to that point when I'm able to make that type of content. But yeah, Swisher Podcast, go on YouTube and follow that. Like I said, I didn't have too much to talk about today, but I definitely want to get on here and bring you guys something. I was sitting today and I was watching the Malcolm X documentary that I have not finished yet. It's called Who Killed Malcolm X? And it's definitely very informing if you enjoyed the last Malcolm X documentary that I told you guys to watch. And, my Netflix recommendations are usually pretty good. I try I watch a good amount of Netflix, definitely documentaries. So when I tell you to watch something, most likely it's something that I really, really recommend that is probably pretty good. If you don't like my my Netflix recommendations, then I don't know. But I feel like my Netflix recommendations are pretty good. But definitely check out Who Killed Malcolm X. It's a great documentary on who killed Malcolm X. You learn out a lot of different things that you did not know. But if you haven't seen the first documentary that's on Netflix about Malcolm X, watch that first, and then not even a documentary. If you haven't seen the movie, so my fault. It's a movie about Malcolm X with Denzel Washington. Watch that movie, and it gives you almost like a backstory about how he grew up and all that different type of things. And then watch Who Killed Malcolm X. That's like the other part too, but it's in documentary form. It's not a movie. And you enjoy it, and you will learn a lot about how things worked out back in those type of days. And it's just great, especially if you like documentaries, if you like history. One thing I noticed about back then in the 1960s, it seemed like everybody wore dress pants and button ups and hats and glasses like this that I have on right now. It's so much different than what we see our young men and people in today. And that can only be because that they were in New York, where maybe the fashion was dress pants and hats and glasses. But, definitely something that I saw and I pointed out while watching the documentary. But yeah, Malcolm X, very powerful man, very not afraid to speak what he felt and not afraid to do the things that he wanted to do in order to get where he wanted to be. Being someone who was in prison at the age of 19, got out at the age right before his 21st birthday and joined the Nation of Islam, and was able to be the leader he was in the Nation of Islam for different reasons, and to have all go bad after serving 12 years with them, and just seeing how everything turned out for him is very, very sad. And definitely go check out that documentary, and we'll be able to talk more about that on the podcast. But like I said, if you guys want to get any type of content on the podcast, if that's video, if that's any type of content that you want to get on the podcast, definitely hit me up at swisherent on Instagram. You can DM me, then I'll definitely get back to you. You can also email me at swisherentertainment95. Once again, that's swisherentertainment95 at gmail.com, and I'll definitely get back to you about that. Any type of business moves you want, brand advertising, we can definitely do that on the Swisher Podcast, and I'll have no problem helping those who want to get their content out there. So just make sure you send it, and I'll be able to get back to you as soon as possible. But like I said, this Malcolm X documentary, it was just crazy to see how the media is able to narrate different narratives when they don't like you. And you can see a lot of that today, maybe not so as much because we have more than just 3 or 4 news outlets, which I talked about in the last episode about how we have social media. So it's not just NBC, CBS, and ABC, the 3 main outlets with news, who's able to manipulate the people in order to sway them to feel a certain way about someone. We have all different types of platform. Like you see, I have a platform right here that I have a platform right here that I have followers. I have people that listen to me, and I might be able to sway someone's opinion on something. Back in the day, they didn't have things like this. You weren't able to have a platform, have people listen. It was only a few platforms you can listen to in a newspaper. So back then it was a lot different. If Malcolm X was able to do something like this and have it broadcast through the internet, I believe that he wouldn't be able to reach a lot more people. But that's just something to think about. I always like to compare today's 21st century technology to what they had back in the 1960s and stuff. They had computers, they had and stuff, but they didn't have laptops and stuff like that. But it's definitely always nice to be able to compare, what we're able to do today and what people were able to do back then, and just to be grateful for the things that we have today, man. But yeah, the Malcolm X documentary, I know I'm talking a lot about it, but it's a great documentary. So you guys, once again, go check that out. Carolina basketball, I'm trying to dive into sports now. Carolina basketball, I don't know what's going on. They lost to Wake Forest. They didn't just lose. It was like 70-something to 50. I don't know what's going on with my boys of Carolina, but they have to do something to get back on track. I just don't understand what the issue is. And I can't, like I said last episode, I was like, maybe it's the basketball IQ, maybe it's the coaching, maybe it's just the guys that look like they usually play together. They don't have any type of chemistry between each other. So it would definitely be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do in the next year or so. They're definitely not going to the NCAA tournament. Not losing like this, and like I said, Roy's probably going to be a little happy. He gets an early vacation this year from basketball. He hasn't had one of those in a long time. I don't even think they're going to make the CIAA tournament, which I don't know what your record has to be to get in the CIAA tournament, but I definitely believe that I don't think they're going to make it. But like I said, it'd be great to see what happens. I just don't understand how you get that close to beating Duke and then you lose a team like Wake Forest by almost 20 or 30, whatever. it's embarrassing. But hopefully, like I said, at some point the Tar Heels can pull it together. It may not be this season, but hopefully next season we'll be able to definitely redeem ourselves. And I'm saying this right now. If you're watching live, I got a Duke sweatshirt on. This is a free sweatshirt that I won at work. Let me make this clear. I'm not a Duke fan. Never was, never have been a Duke fan. I am just from Durham, so I was able to get a free sweatshirt, and this sweatshirt is comfortable. For those of you who are watching on Instagram, like I said, if you really want to watch, make sure you go on Instagram, follow me at swisherent, and this episode will be on my live for about 24 hours. I believe the episode lasts for about 24 hours on live, and you'll be able to watch somewhat of this episode and watch me recording the episode, and you can do that. But it's only going to be out there for 24 hours, so make sure as soon as you hear this, you go and watch that. Like I said, I'm going to try to go live more. I'll probably go live every time I record from now on, because it's definitely a good way to get people to watch and get people to notice the podcast and know how different things work on the podcast. I'm definitely going to do a tutorial and record it and put it on YouTube about how I do everything, how I set up everything, and how everything works for the podcast. I believe that will be some good content to put out for people who are wondering how, if they want to start a podcast, how and what type of tools you need to start a podcast. Honestly, you don't have to have the exact setup that I have. I have a mixer. I have, a bunch of stuff that I probably really don't need. It's really simple. You can probably download the app on your phone. It's the app on your phone that you can download, and you can record straight into your phone and then put out a podcast and, add little things in, I guess. But, the level I wanted to do, I wanted to have it sound as clear as possible. So I was able to get a mixer and all that type of stuff. And, I record mine on GarageBand, and so it's able to sound as clear as possible. But once again, make sure you guys follow me at swisherent. Make sure you go on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, run those views up, run those subscribers up, and all that good stuff. I'm going to keep putting out content. Once again, this episode will be on YouTube in audio form, only audio. So you can definitely listen on YouTube if you are a Swisher Podcast fan. I'm going to need a name for the Swisher Podcast fan. Maybe Swisher Podcast Gang or Swisher Podcast Crew. I don't know. I don't have a cool name just yet. I don't like the word fans because it sounds kind of demeaning. It's kind of like you're demeaning people. So make sure you go and hit that subscribe button and do what you got to do on the podcast, and keep it going, man. Definitely hit that like button, download the podcast, and all that good stuff. But once again, this is Swisher Podcast. I appreciate you all for listening. You can look out for this episode, the next episode tomorrow, and every day after that. Once again, this is Swisher Podcast, and I'm out.